Welcome each one of you to your best defense, how to have a strong immune system absolutely naturally. So this is very important for this time of year. My name is Carolyn Nichol, and I am a certified holistic nutritionist. And did you know that about 4% of the population every year, this is not new since COVID, actually dies of flu-like symptoms, can turn into pneumonia and create issues. So the reality is that colds are generally not deadly, but for some people, they can become that way. And so our best defense, what is our best defense for cold and flu season and to keep a strong immune system? Is it vitamin C tablets? Is it zinc? What is the answer for a strong immune system? That's what I want to show you today. And for those that are just joining us, please feel free to put your questions in the chat. I would love to answer them. And in this hour that we are together, we are also going to hear from Charlene Schick, one of our lead nutritionists, and she is going to show you some natural cold and flu remedies. One in particular, a wonderful and, may I say, delicious cough syrup. So what is your best defense? Let's just talk about it for a minute. So your immune system travels through your lymph fluid, and you have all different types of cells, mast cells, killer T cells, B cells. They all have different roles and functions, your cytokines. Our immune system is incredible. Science is still trying to figure out how it can function so well on its own without any technology or programming. Your body knows how to find a disease, to create a natural antibody, to punch holes in it, to actually eat it alive and then commit suicide and get out of your system. We have an incredible, fearfully and wonderfully made system, and our immune system is what we need to keep strong so that any pathogens, any viruses, any diseases can be taken care of by these soldiers, this special force team that we have running through our blood. So it's very important to keep your neutrophils up and your leukocytes up and to make sure that they're not overproducing, but strengthened and nourished so that we can continue to fight diseases. So as we know, there's lots of viruses on the prowl, and COVID is not the last one. And your best defense against these, believe it or not, does not come from a bottle. So, you know, there are some great supplements out there, of which, if you don't have these certain vitamins and nutrients, you can have a weak immune system. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, B6, these are all absolutely important in order for us to have a healthy, strong immune system. So does that mean that we should be spending hundreds, thousands of dollars buying supplements? The truth is that your diet contains vitamin C, zinc, B6, and the sunshine, believe it or not, yes, you can even get it in the winter, gives us the vitamin D that we need. So the answer is truly not supplements. The supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and most people are taking supplements unnecessarily. Supplements are good for speedy healing for a short period of time, but the truth is, if you're eating certain components and the right components of your diet with these few other things, you should be able to have the strongest defense barrier to come against almost any pathogen or virus. But let me tell you something. There is nothing wrong with getting a cold. In fact, when a cold becomes present in your system, it allows your body to actually create a natural antibody so you don't get that cold or flu or virus again. So that's ultimately what a vaccine is supposed to be doing. It's presenting the virus to your system so an antibody can be created. So if you just get a little bit of that cold, a little bit of that virus, you should be you should be able to handle that virus and also create a natural antibody for that as well. So catching COVID is not really a bad thing as long as it doesn't take you down. Catching a flu or a cold, and COVID is really just a flu virus with a name on it. If we named every flu virus, we'd all be afraid of the flu. So really, catching a cold or any kind of virus is not a bad thing as long as it doesn't, destroy your lifestyle and not allow you to function. But catching that cold virus allows your body to produce antibodies, which actually strengthens your immune system in the long run. But it's up to you as far as what nutrients are going to be present in your system. What nutrients does my immune system need? That's what's very important. Well, we all have a nutrient checklist in our system. Your body knows exactly how many nutrients, vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin E, how much antioxidants I need every day, how much essential fatty acids I need, and protein and carbohydrates. And this can get very confusing. So what's the answer? Well, it's definitely not in processed food. There's actually nothing in processed food that is going to help fill your nutrient list. You will be nutrient deprived if you are consuming caffeine because it actually robs you of minerals. So does alcohol. Dairy products consume a ton of inflammation and directly inhibit your immune system from functioning. Unfortunately, wheat is highly inflammatory and is not giving us, the wheat germ, the vitamin E, the B vitamins that it used to. But there is another answer. So let's talk about what that answer is. I want to read this little quote to you. It says, when the immune system responds to pathogens, when your immune system responds to pathogens, chemokines, they inform the immune cells, such as the macrophages and the T cells, to travel to the infected area. Now, although glucose is vital for the proper function of the immune cells and their proliferation, a high amount of glucose actually leads to impaired function of the immune system and its pathological conditions. So basically what's happening here is if we have a diet that has sugar in it or high carbohydrates, a lot of rice, a lot of starches, it turns to glucose. Your immune system, your macrophages, your T cells, they're actually get almost like they're drunk. What happens is your body cannot digest sugar on its own without nutrients. If you have white bread, if you're having French fries, if you're having white rice, they're almost void of nutrients. Your body actually has to go to your cells, take nutrients, and bring them to the digestive system in order to digest it. Basically, what's happening is, imagine your killer T cells are fighting and they need nutrients in order to have strength. You're basically saying, thank you, I'll take your weapons. I need it for the sugar I just consumed. And then the T cell becomes weak. Your macrophages become weak. Those macrophages are the ones that will literally eat away at the virus and then commit suicide and get themselves out of your system. It's incredible, but it will lose its power if it loses nutrients. It will gain power if it has nutrients. So when we eat a diet that has empty calories and is empty nutrients, then you're not just not doing good for your body, you're disabling your immune system. And that is science. The other thing that disables your immune system, believe it or not, are cold things. That could be a very healthy smoothie, rich in vitamin C and antioxidants. You might have even put some flax in there or chia in there. Maybe there's a healthy protein in there. But because it's cold, once it goes into your stomach, because your stomach's at a warm 37 degrees and now it's cold, your body actually signals your blood, which includes your white blood cells, to come to your digestive system and churn it up and down and create heat so that it warms your stomach. Well, unfortunately, it's not calling the virus to say, come with me over here. We've got work to do with the stomach. It has to leave its post. It leaves the viruses, heads to the stomach to warm things up. That's why if you have a cold drink or cold water, a smoothie, all of a sudden your fingers get cold, your toes get cold, everything gets cold because your blood left. It left its post to come and warm your stomach. So the best thing to do is to eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, have a wide variety of nutrients. And if you are eating the way that we teach along the 8 laws of health, and if you haven't booked a consultation with us or it's been a while, that might be something you want to consider. And I can show you how within the next 24 hours you can get a great discount on it. But if you just have a diet that is full varieties, you have, a wide variety of colors. We recommend, some fruits in the morning with a breakfast item, a nice big salad at lunch with lots of different vegetables, beans, and healthy grains like buckwheat, like quinoa, like millet, like sweet potato. Look at your food, look at your plate. It should be full of colors. If you could do that, then you will find that you just naturally fill up your vitamin B list, your vitamin C list, your vitamin E list. But if you have caffeine and alcohol and dairy and wheat and empty calories and chips and sugar, you're filling up your body's calorie need with empty calories. You won't have the room for all this nutrient dense food and you won't get that list filled up. So number one, your best defense is to have a choice in what you're eating that is full of colors. Have the fruits, the raw, before the cooked. Have the salad before your healthy meal. Have your fruits before your porridge. The less you have cooked food, the more nutrients are in it because it doesn't get cooked out. But then you'd be cold all the time if you just had fruits and salads. So have a warm meal after your salad, have a warm porridge after your fruits, and your body will thank you. Number two, your best defense is outside of food. I'm telling you, if you ate extremely well every single day, but you always compromised on sleep, you'd be in big trouble. Why is that? Because between 9 p.m. and 1 in the morning, your body produces something amazing. They're called cytokines. Cytokines are your immune system messengers. They're the ones that communicate to your immune system. We've got an issue over here in the left side of our left ventricle of our heart, and we've got a virus that's coming in there. It will tell your immune system if it needs a mast cell, if it needs a fibroblast, if it needs those macrophages or the lymphocytes. It will tell your immune system which soldiers need to come to the issue. But if your cytokines aren't there, your immune system gets there slowly and maybe with the wrong soldier. You need your cytokines, and those are produced when you're sleeping between 9 p.m. and 1 in the morning. If you are constantly staying up till midnight, you're constantly having late nights, or you're constantly waking up through the night, your cytokines are not getting produced properly. And that's the truth. And if you work a night shift, your system's always going to be compromised. Even though you might sleep in the day, it goes against the natural rhythm of the human body, of the circadian rhythm. Now I understand you need to be a nurse or a doctor or a firefighter or whatever you're doing in the night shift. I understand we need our night workers, but there's always going to be a compromise. Will your system try to make it up later on? Of course it will. Is it going to be perfect? Unfortunately, it won't be perfect. So as far as you can, friends, get to bed early. That is one of the best defenses that you can do for a strong immune system. Very, very, very important. As we look at this body, look at your lymph system, your lymph nodes, look at this. It covers every aspect of your being. And as we're going to learn in a minute, your lymph system doesn't have a pump like our heart. Your heart beats. I don't have to tell it to beat. I don't have to tell my heart to beat, but your lymph system doesn't do that on its own. Your blood vessels, which go Also, in the areas that your lymph system does, I mean, look at the veins and arteries are also there. Your lymph system is going where all your veins and arteries are too. But your veins and artery have a pump of a heart, and then your blood vessels are also dilating and constricting, pushing that all around because your heart veins and arteries are muscular. So your lymph system doesn't have that ability. So guess what? Your lymph system moves when you do. You want your lymph system to go around throughout the body and make sure there's no issues. You must exercise, especially getting the heart rate up, moving, jumping up and down, a rebounder or a trampoline, or if you have the ability to do jumping jacks or burpees, get your body moving, get your heart rate up, get that lymph system pumping. If you sit at a desk all day, make sure every hour on the hour you're getting up, you're doing some marching around, you're walking, you're moving. Even little movements move your lymph system. So we have got to exercise. You're probably going to be very happy to hear this and smile at your spouse. See, there's a reason why I'm using all my benefits and going for a massage. But when you get a massage, it will manually manipulate your lymph system to move throughout your body. Now, of course, your lymph system moves through fluid. So just like when you exercise, you need extra water, make sure you're hydrated before and after your massage. Do you need a massage every day? Well, we'd love one, but it's not necessary. But it's just a part of helping keep a healthy system. If you can get a massage once a month or even, once every couple months, it's just a healthy thing to do as also another layer of keeping your immune system strong. Now, my friends, number 5 for your best defense is a healthy gut. I don't know if you know this, but over 70%, almost 80% of your immune system lies in your stomach gut. All of that good, healthy probiotics that you have, all that bacterial flora that's in your digestive system, plays an integral role of keeping your immune system strong. So without good probiotics, you will have a weak immune system. If you have diverticulitis or Crohn's or IBS, if you have acid reflux or regular bloating, guaranteed you've got a weak immune system. If you have a leaky gut where you have an autoimmune disease or lots of allergies, guaranteed your immune system is not strong. Don't let this news that I'm sharing with you discourage you, because I don't know if you know this, but at the Energy Shack, we have an incredibly high success rate of helping people get their immune system strong and getting their digestive health back in order. In fact, I've been in business and have been in my practice for more than a decade, and there has not been one person with any of these chronic issues. I'm not saying we've been able to take every one of them away, but everybody has found relief and some great healing. In fact, I just spoke with one of my clients who worked with us last year, and she said, I am finally fully healed. Our programs are 30 to 60 days. We're going to give you an amazing start. And if you could keep it up, I know I'll get that call from you in a year from now, and you'll say, I too am healed. But it's a pretty miraculous 30 or 60 days. I'm saying this to say, stop suffering alone. Stop having all this bloating and acid reflux and don't know what to do with it. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but we have an amazing team of caring people that can get you to where you need to be naturally. So 80% of your immune system right there in your stomach gut. How important it is that the food that we're eating is there to heal and not to harm. With every bite of food you have, with every single thing you drink, ask yourself that question. Is this going to bring me healing or harm? If it's going to bring you harm, avoid it. Or have it very, very rarely and use it only on special occasions. If it's going to bring you healing, eat up. But remember, eat and drink even healthy things in moderation. Because if you eat too much and you get too full, you put another burden on your digestive system and your nervous system. I want to show you the last thing as far as the best defense. You know, when you look at this picture, I hope you can see it clearly. I don't know, there's something about water and lakes and trees. I want you to just take a minute and just be silent for a minute and just think about how you're feeling by looking at this picture. Imagine that you were just sitting there on that little island there, looking at the mountains and looking at the very still water. Probably you'd hear a few birds in the trees or some rustling around in the forest. I want you right now just to pay attention to your body and how your body's feeling as I show you the next slide. How did you feel? Right? Stress is real. So even if you're not a person that's easily stressed out, just the fact that we don't live in a forest, we see the 401 or the highways or the roads and concrete buildings instead of trees, we carry a level of stress. And when that cortisol comes out, it goes through your vagus nerve, which ends up dumping in the stomach, and yes, killing good probiotic. It also makes your blood thick. It brings blood. It takes blood away from the organs that are trying to function to heal you. It hammers on your immune system. So I do want you to be aware that you could get your exercise, you can go to bed early, you can get your massages, you can eat right. But if you are very stressed out, it causes more damage than falling away from all those other things. So that is extremely important. And again, we also have some tactics that we can help you with stress, because stress will kill you before all the bad food in the world does. Wasn't that just a very simple but wonderful information? Now, I want to give the time to Charlene because, but before I do that, I wanted to also ask, while she's just about to get ready, does anybody have any questions about anything that I shared? You can just throw it in the chat. And then Charlene's going to show you how to do an amazing cough syrup with ingredients you have in your house, because I believe that healing and finding all the right remedies should be affordable, practical, and simple to follow. And this remedy she has is incredible. So we have a very silent crowd tonight. I hope the information was valuable for you. I'm going to bring Charlene on, and I'm also going to, any questions you have, you guys can just share them at the end. But Charlene's there in her kitchen. She's super ready for you guys.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. So I'm going to introduce Charlene. So I mentioned at the beginning, but some of you guys have come on a little later. So Charlene too is a certified holistic nutritionist. She works with many of my clients. She's actually my lead nutritionist. We just came back from Massachusetts. We were there in Massachusetts for 4 days, training a wonderful group of individuals, just over 70 individuals, on how to do some of these natural remedies. Very simple. But we love sharing them. And Charlene is full of all these remedies. And so we are going to continue to show you as much as we can. These are, of course, free seminars. But Charlene, I'm looking at a knife, a cutting board, and an onion. Is it truly that simple? Talk to us.
It's very, very simple, Carolyn. So hi, everybody. We're going to be talking about the onion. This is a very popular vegetable that I'm sure you're all very familiar with. And I'm sure that you cook with it almost every day. You might even know that the onion is full of vitamin C, B vitamins. It's very high in potassium, antioxidants, and is a great prebiotic. But what you might not know is that onions possess many medicinal properties that have been used and proven for centuries. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Onions have antimicrobial and antibacterial properties. And because of their high sulfur content, they can be used as an effective decongestant and anti-asthmatic. So this means that onions can be a very helpful remedy for respiratory issues such as asthma if you have a cough, if you have bronchitis, because onions also reduce the amount of phlegm that you have in your lungs and your throat, and they help to also open up the bronchial passageways so you can breathe more easily. Okay? Onions also have very high levels of phosphoric acid, and this is released when we slice them. And that means that they can be, the phosphoric acid is a great sinus decongester. And I'm sure that all of you have experienced chopping an onion and having your eyes watering and your nose running, right? So that is the phosphoric acid working to decongest your sinuses. So you've all experienced that natural remedy inadvertently already. Onions are also known as a great drawer. Not an artist, but a drawer, okay? They naturally pull out impurities through the skin, whether that is an infection or pus, it'll draw that out to the surface of the skin. Onions can also draw blood to the surface of the skin to increase circulation. And if circulation is increased, that means there's an increase of oxygen and nutrients to the area, which will help to speed up the recovery and healing. Onions also draw germs away from the environment that they are in direct contact with. So even your body, when they are directly in contact with your body, it can draw out those impurities, those germs from your body. Now, as an aside, sometimes when we're cooking, we have really big onions. We might only use half of an onion for a recipe, and we put the other half in the fridge. I just want to say that because onions do have this drawing property, that if it is in your refrigerator without being covered, it is going to draw all of those odors from your fridge, all of those germs and impurities from your fridge into that cut onion. So when you chop it up and cook with it next time, all of that is going to be in the recipe. And I think those are ingredients that you might want to stay away from. So if you have any extra onion left over after you're cooking, put it in a glass jar or container and keep that in the fridge and use it within the next day or two to prevent that from happening. Okay? So today I am going to talk about a syrup, but I'm going to hold on for a minute. And I'm going to share with you 3 quick and easy natural remedies using onion that you can make at home to treat yourself or your family during the cold and flu season. The first one is for a sore throat. Now, to do this, you'll need a knife, an onion, a piece of paper towel, such as this, and you'll need some sort of a scarf or a tie to hold it on to your neck. All right? So we're just going to slice up this onion, take off the skin, okay? Get this off. Should have maybe done this before, but I wanted you to see that it's a real natural onion that we're using. Okay. Get all that skin off, all right? Just let me throw it in the garbage because I'm dealing with a very small spot here. All right. So for a sore throat, you're just going to take your onion and you're going to make a few thin slices, just like this. Nothing fancy. All right, just a few slices like this. And you're going to place them on a piece of paper towel, just like this. Okay. Okay. I think 2 is actually enough here. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to place that piece of onion directly on your throat, just like this. You're going to take your scarf or your tie, and you're just going to tie it on to secure it in place, just like this. And now what you can do is you can walk around your house, you can get some things done, or you can go to bed, and this will be nice and secure. If you use a scarf, you could wrap it around a few times and feel nice and cozy, because often when we have a cold or a flu, we feel a bit chilled. All right, so you want that onion directly on your neck, and it'll help to draw out all of those impurities and germs that are in your body and to help with your sore throat. All right? Pretty easy, isn't it? The next one that we're going to talk about is for chest congestion or a cough. Now, I've recently gotten over whatever's happening in our city right now, and I tried this and it worked instantly for me. So in this case, you need the same items and you need a couple of, these are just little plastic produce bags from the grocery store. Whenever I get my produce, I always grab a few more from the roll and put it in my bag because I know that I will be able to use these if I need to do this remedy. So this remedy is actually using your feet, all right? Now, you will take your produce bags. Let's pretend my table is the floor. You will open them up like this, and you will get a piece of paper towel and place it at the bottom of each bag, all right? Then you're going to slice your onion, similar to as we just did with the throat application, all right? We're just gonna slice it nicely like this in nice rings, okay? And then you're going to take the onion and you're going to place it on the paper towel next to each other in a nice line for as much as would cover the foot of the person you're going to put it on. So can you see that? All right, so I've just placed the onion on the paper towel inside the bag, and I'm going to do that with both of the bags because you have 2 feet. Okay, and we're just going to place it there. Then you would have your family member. This is your foot. You're going to place your foot, bare foot, directly onto the onion so that it is in direct contact with the sliced onion. Then you're going to grab the bag around their ankle like this to hold it together, and then grab a pair of socks. You can use a small pair of socks like this, or you could use a nice big pair of wool socks like this. And you're going to hold the bag around the ankle while your loved one pulls their sock around their foot. This is going to hold the onion in direct contact with the bottom of your foot. The base of your foot has a great concentration of pores, and that's why it's good to put the onion on your foot, because all of those pores will help draw all of the impurities from your body into the onion, all right? So once you have your socks on, you can just put your feet up and you can go to bed. I would recommend going to bed wearing these socks with the onions on your feet. And in the morning, it will help you tremendously. For me, it actually broke my fever that I had, and I was coughing a lot less. I was having a lot of painful coughs in my chest, and it really broke up that congestion and alleviated that pain. And I did that 2 nights in a row, and it really worked. So that would be for a chest congestion and for cough. All right. I can't quite reach my computer, so any questions that you have, I'll answer at the end, okay? Let's put that aside. Now we're going to talk about the cough syrup. To do the cough syrup, you need an onion. You need some organic honey. It needs to be a liquid honey. All right, this is a Billy Bee organic honey. And you need a jar. The jar can be any size. It can be something that you had from pasta sauce or salsa. It needs to be a glass jar. All right. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to chop up your onion into small pieces. Nice little small pieces. Okay. And to save a little bit of time earlier, I cut up another onion into small pieces here as well. Okay. So what you're going to do You're going to open your jar. It's a clean jar. You're going to sprinkle about a centimeter of onion at the bottom of the jar. You're going to take your honey and you're going to drizzle it on top. You want about, try to cover all of it, not a thick layer, maybe about 1 teaspoon or so. Okay, you see that? All right. And then we're just going to keep layering that. We're going to put more onions on top, about 1 centimeter of onions. Okay. Then we're going to do the honey part again, about, depending on how big your jar is. This jar is quite big, so maybe 1.5 teaspoons of honey that you're just going to nicely drizzle all over the top. All right. Now, because there's a lot of honey in this, this might be not the best if you have diabetes, but it also depends how much honey that you're putting in there too. You don't want to overdo it. All right. More onions, a little bit more of the honey, sprinkle it all over. Now you can fill the whole jar if you have onions. That's what I'm going to do. Or you just put in as much as you have. You don't need to fill it to the top. Okay. Just still layering. And we'll do one more layer. Oh, just missed the door. Okay. Our last layer. Okay. And on your last layer, you're going to put double the amount of honey. All right. Double measure. So about 2 to 3 teaspoons on the top. All right. Just like that. So you can see how much honey I have put on the top. Now you're just going to put a lid on it. You're going to put it aside, and in about an hour, you're going to start seeing a liquid forming at the bottom. The honey is drawing out all of the juices and all the medicinal properties from the onion into the honey, and it is mixing. And earlier today, I made a small little bottle, and you can see how liquidy it is. Can you see that? It's very watery. I didn't put any water in. That's just the juices from the onion mixing with the honey. Now you're going to keep this aside for 24 hours, and in 24 hours, you would just put this through a sieve so that all of the juices go into a bowl, for example, and then you're going to discard the onion because there are absolutely no nutrients or any value in that onion. It's all been transferred into the honey and into that syrup, okay? So throw out the onions, and then you can pour the liquid back into the jar, keep this in the fridge, and it'll last indefinitely. For an adult, you would take maybe 1 to 2 teaspoons several times a day as needed. It's not a bad taste, but if you don't like it, you could put it in the spoon and just aim it to the back of your throat and just let it drizzle down your throat and coat your throat. If you are administering this to a child, the dosage would be half that of the adult. Okay, so that's the end of my onion remedies for cold and flu. I hope that there's something that you feel that you can do quite easily at home. It's quite inexpensive. You just need a little bit of honey and onions and some paper towel, and pretty much everybody has that at home. So thank you for your time.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Oh,
thank
me,
you.
Carolyn. Got some questions here. I can probably answer them, but since you're the onion girl today,
I am onion girl.
but this is good, very good. So, a few questions. Do all onions have the same properties, like yellow onion, Spanish
Oh,
onion?
right,
Doesn't matter.
right. Yeah, no, you could make any of these with any of the onions. You could use a white one, a yellow one, a red one, a sweet onion. All of those would work. The only thing is red onions are a little bit more expensive, and because of the red color, they have a lot more phytonutrients in them. So I would reserve the red onions for cooking so you can get that in your body, and maybe save a few pennies and use the yellow onions like I have. I bought a bag of these for $3 and they work just fine.
Awesome. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's good to know. And uh go up to the top. Would that work for a sprained ankle when you were wrapping it around your throat? Is that going to be good for a sprained ankle?
Right. So this is not good for inflammation in that sense. There are other natural remedies that you could use for sprained ankle. Um, I would maybe use a castor oil pack, or you could even use potato or cabbage.
Even a
Um,
ginger poultice might
you
help.
could use a ginger poultice as
Yeah.
well. Ginger is the most powerful. So
Yeah.
basically, you would just grate the ginger on a piece of towel, very similar to this. Okay. You'd put it in the middle. You're getting an extra one today. You
I
would
was
put,
gonna say,
you'd get,
next
yeah, you would
seminar.
put all of the ginger in the middle like this, and then you would fold it over in a little pack, like a little envelope like this. Okay. So all those extra layers of the paper towel on the top are going to absorb the juiciness of the ginger, and the ginger just has one layer of paper towel here. This is my ankle. I would just put it on my ankle. I would put a piece of saran wrap on top of it to kind of keep it from leaking. And then I would wrap it up with some sort of a binding like this to hold it in place. Okay, so
Perfect.
it's the same principle.
Yeah, and stay tuned because we're going to keep trying to show some natural remedies online for you guys as well. So Pat is saying that this is her grandma's recipe. Yes, we don't pretend to reinvent any wheels. Most of what we share are recipes from hundreds of years old. So the question is that since onion is a drawer, not an artist, would it be a good idea if someone's not well to have a cut onion beside their bed?
Yeah, that would be good. Definitely. Absolutely. It is a great decongestant and it helps to reduce the phlegm and open up the bronchial passageways. So just smelling that, it's going to draw. You can actually put a half of a cut onion in a moldy basement in the corner and it'll help to pull all of that into the onion. You might need many onions to do a basement, but like I said, if you put half of an onion in the fridge, it's going to draw all of those fridge smells away, such like baking soda might. It might smell a bit like onion, but yes, absolutely, you could put it next to your bed and it would be a great drawer and it would help open up those bronchial passageways.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, my kids lived with onions, especially one of my children who had seemed like they were born with a weak immune system. I don't know. They would always get sick very quickly, but tell you they didn't stay down long. And we lived with onions in our socks for quite a while. Never
It
needed
works.
Tylenol. Never needed Tylenol. Yeah, so it's so great.
Wow.
The question
Yeah.
came up also because we were talking about in my seminar how sugar will actually inhibit your immune system. The question is if the honey would. So if you use too much of it, of course it will. But
Mhm.
in these small quantities, if you're just taking a teaspoon or even tablespoon at a time, honey is very medicinal. Too much of it is going to be a problem. But in these small quantities, it's helpful and not harmful because as I mentioned, refined sugar has no nutrients. Honey has nutrients. So therefore your body's not robbed from, using honey in small quantities. It's the larger quantities you have to be careful. So Ali just shared with everybody that Food Basics has a 10-pound bag on sale for $2.98. So go get your onions.
That's right. And Denise has just made a testimony that this really works, that she's using it now. And yes, it's always nice to hear it being reinforced. And Denise, I'm glad to hear that that's working for you as well.
God, I missed that. Thanks. Good to have two eyes on here.
Hmm.
So awesome, guys. If you want, you can, I want to share before we leave. I do want to just share with you just a couple little highlights of what's going on. So I think most people know that the Energy Shack, well, the owners of the Energy Shack have also purchased the Whisk Gluten-Free Bakery. So there's lots of good things going on over here. Some things that do have sugar in it, but a lot of things that don't. We do have some vegan meals going on at the Energy Shack. We have soup happening almost daily, so you can stop inside for that. And also, if you are, if we struck a chord with any of your health issues that you feel like, you might be struggling with, whether it's digestion or a weak immune system, we do offer nutritional consultations. If you get in touch with us and send a text or call that number and just mention this seminar, we would be happy to give you our full consultation of $110 for just $49. And I will do a full assessment of your health. I will make some recommendations. I'll send you an email summary with what your day should look like for food. So if you would like to get an assessment of your health done, just $49, but you need to not have your consultation done within 24 hours. Just book it. We have some availability for next week, but we're full until I think Monday or Tuesday. Also, friends, if you need just a break to see those trees in Muskoka, to hear that water and the birds, I'm telling you, join us February 20 to 23rd. We are having our 4-day retreat in the beautiful Muskoka at the Windermere Resort. It's $15.99 for single accommodation. If you have a buddy you can share a room with, it's $12.99. And again, just for those that are listening, in 24 hours, our early bird discount is gone. But those who came on the seminar tonight, if you are interested, we will give you $100 off. You've got to text me or call me or email me within 24 hours. And all you need to do is give a $100 deposit and we would be happy to have you. So for those who use social media, we are sharing live recipes every Thursday at 7:30. So just follow us on Instagram at The Energy Shack Juice Bar. And don't worry about it if you don't have Instagram. I don't look at Instagram. I'm only on there to, share, because we're going to be doing these on Zoom very regularly. So if you have any other questions or you need to get in touch with us, please don't hesitate. Please stop suffering alone. There really isn't a disease that Charlene and I have seen over the years that we haven't been able to help you feel better and leave you better than we found you. That's our promise. So unless there's any last questions, this is all the information that you need to have the best defense ever for a strong immune system and to fight any of the wild and crazy viruses out there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Charlene. I love it. I think everyone's going to have a big bottle of cough syrup in their fridge, onions on their feet tonight. There you go. The syrup's already starting. It's amazing. It's amazing. The recording will be found. I know some people jumped in late. I would say usually it takes about 2 or 3 days, and then it's available on our YouTube channel with all our other seminars. So definitely look forward, and thanks for being here with us tonight. Have a good night.
Thanks, Carolyn.
All right.
Thank
see
you.
guys later.
Thank you.
Thank